Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. In the last episode, we finished Silver Trench. That's what we did, right? In this episode, you can see we're starting in a bit of a little pickle, because I'm in Lightning Field right now. I want to go through and recruit the beasts. I think we'll do that at the beginning of every adventure. So that we can get them out of the way. And Aggron was hit level 57 here. I did put him through the paces at Makihita Dojo a bit, but I didn't expect him to actually get it in this adventure. I wanted to show it off on screen, so here we are. He's learning Heavy Slam. This is the last move that Aggron learns, and it might be one of the best, depending on how much it gives us for damage. So I'm gonna get rid of Rock Slide. I've been planning to do that for a while. And we're going to test its damage against Iron Tail real quick. Both of which should be neutral since we're fighting electric types. Alright, so Iron Tail. Missed. 95. Now we know. Good. Yeah, since we have Steamroll, it shouldn't be a problem. So Heavy Slam. Oh! Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So, note that that does scale with how heavy the enemy is. It doesn't just depend on your own weight, it also depends on the enemies. But, wow, that is a lot more useful than it is in the games. Because it's still like, it's still its best move. Its best steel move, that is, in the games. But it's not that ridiculous. Like, it's maybe a little bit more powerful than, like, Iron Tail, which is the next strongest physical Steel-type move. I don't know the specifics, and obviously it depends on what Pokemon you're fighting against, but oh my god, that's more than double the power of it. And we have a team of pretty much all new recruits here, by the way. Well, cool. Oh, that's just so good. That's so good. I don't know. I don't even know. Well, geez, that is just absolutely ridiculous. Here we are. I did want to show this, even though it's not technically a new fight at all. This is the Lightning Field, my domain. To all who enter, I show no mercy no matter what. With my electric bolts, I will devastate you again. So it is new dialogue, so I wanted to show it. As far as I know, I believe it's the exact same fight. Hey Aggron, why don't you get on this with your Heavy Slam? In fact, you know what? Do I have an empowerment seed? I doubt I brought one. Yeah, I didn't think so. He gets heavier with Mega Evolution. So if you really wanted to... Okay, yeah, I use Earth Power, good. If you really wanted to, you could Mega Evolve just to improve the damage of that. Also, guess who has Lightning Rod? You thought. You really did. Did you? They thought. Alright, well I'm gonna move up with Persian here. Using Reflect, that kind of really sucks. That's fine. I'll just keep using Screech on it, and that'll buff up our damage to ridiculous amounts. Now, even though Heavy Slam does so much damage, I'm pretty sure it does less than the combo of Stone Edge and Outrage right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap that off. It's hard to say like what I want. Oops, I can't change them there. Thought I could. It's hard to say what I'm gonna do with these moves now in terms of linking, because obviously Stone Edge and Outrage is powerful, but if Heavy Slam's just gonna gank everything, basically fulfilling the need of that Outrage, then I might open up another move slot instead of maybe Outrage, since I have Stone Edge so like absolutely buffed right now anyway. Also, it's like, you know, Heavy Slam's not going to be great against bosses, for one, because boss Pokemon tend to be some of the heavier boys. Although, now that I think about it, our remaining bosses that we have left through the game aren't that heavy. They're kind of small in comparison. But, yeah, still, I don't know. Because I could give him, like, Water Pulse, which is leveled up a lot because of Swampert having it, and it'd give it just, you know, that one distance move, no matter what, it's covered, you know. It's hard to say. I think I'll leave it as it is for now, but with it being a move that basically knocks anything out one hit, I think it just kind of outpowers Outrage. I could also just keep Outrage, you know? Also, there's Raikou. Has Leap Ahead, actually. That's a really good rare quality, and it fits a lightning dog. Bolton, or whatever it's called. Anyway, yeah, so I thought about what we're gonna do today. Listen, I know I said that we're gonna do Wish Cave. We'll get to it. Don't worry about it. But whenever I go into my, did I say no to whatever Cacturn was saying? Darn. So I have another place that I want to go, and we need to get these auxiliary dungeons out of the way too. So we're going to accomplish a lot here. Also, I'm Platinum rank, just in case you didn't know, because I worked that through in between episodes. I had a lot of time to do whatever I need. I ground out getting all of the held items in the game, which it wasn't that hard actually. But in the process of doing that, I got Platinum. I don't have, the only items I don't have the Mobile Scarf, and I don't have the Pierce Band, which are, you know, two of the best items. Also, wow, another Pokemon. Jeez. But there's a certain dungeon that we have left to do that I believe I have 16 requests in? And, you know, also I had a lot for Lightning Field, I don't know why. I think it'd be a good idea to finally go there. It's a pretty long dungeon. It's not super easy as far as I remember. So it should be somewhat entertaining and not, you know, not what those other two optional dungeons were. I'm gonna take the time to get ready real quick. I'm not gonna change any of the Link moves or anything yet, because I want to take some time with Aggron to figure out what I want to do with its linked situation. But I'm just gonna get my inventory ready. Alrighty, I'm all ready. You might be wondering where we're headed to. Well, yeah, you can see the kind of imbalance we have here. I have 13 missions here, and I don't know why it's specifically Southern Cavern that I have 15 missions, but hey, we're gonna do it, why not? We have a guest Hypno. Yeah, you didn't think we were gonna get out of this without having a guest, did you? Also, something I forgot to mention, because once again, I did it so long ago, same with getting Platinum rank. I changed Aggron's rare quality from Leap Ahead to Small Stomach. And that's just about the only... I deposited all my money. Guess this kind of sucks, doesn't it? Oh, an Empowerment Seed. That would have been nice to have. What was I saying? Yeah, so Small Stomach is just about the only rare quality I actually would have gotten rid of Leap Forward or Leap Ahead for. So it was kind of a funny happenstance, I suppose you could say. But anyway, talking about Southern Cavern. It is unlocked once you get the Boulder Cave friend area, which I obviously had very, very early on, so we kind of automatically got it. It's not too difficult, but it gets exponentially harder due to the kind of Pokemon you start finding later on. So it starts out with, like, you know, Diglets and Geodudes. It's kind of a rock type area, by the way, if you couldn't tell from it unlocking through Boulder Cave. Or Boulder Cavern, I believe it is. But you start seeing some kind of nasty things later on, and of course we'll see that, but, you know, like Rhydons, things that have magnitude, obviously. Rock Blast as well, roll out. So there's a couple of moves to watch out for here. And the music slaps, luckily. It's not often you actually get like a good tune in the late games, or in the late dungeons, because they kind of just start getting atmospheric, and it's like, yeah, that's all well and good. But I like to bop my head to it, you know? Anyway, there's our first mission. Get ready for a lot of job completeds. Plus, this isn't like the easiest dungeon around either, so we're going to be getting mad recruits. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna just kind of show this one out. Just because it's somewhat interesting. It has its own, surprisingly, Southern Cavern, not many post-game dungeons that are completely optional have this. It has a unique wall. Like, you see, like, the little red stones and everything. That's unique to this dungeon. And, well, it's the first place you see it, rather. It might show up in another dungeon like Oh, I don't know, Purity Forest. Purity Forest tends to have a ton of different kinds of styles. Same with Joyous Tower. But, this is like, it's the Southern Cavern look. Look at that, there's another one. But anyway, yeah, with Small Stomach, we're able to basically not need apples at all, which is good, because, you know, I struggle with apple management. And I basically have started bringing a ton of orange berries because, you know, you eat an orange berry, it normally restores 2 belly, but with Small Stomach, it restores 100. And actually, that's not even true. If you have like a perfect apple that you've eaten, like this Rost berry, it's basically a big apple. It's nuts. But if you have a big apple that you've eaten when you're at full belly and you have 150 belly, everything fills it to full. So you could have 200 belly, eat a plain seed, and boom, you're full belly again. Also, it seems a good dungeon to have Small Stomach because it seems like we're coming across a ton of berries. Didn't think it'd be such a common item. Yeah, see, when I said it'd be interesting, sea dots were not what I was talking about. Plus, it's at least from what I can see so far, there's Persian. Look at that, that's really weird. From what I've seen so far, it seems to be a fairly simple layout, huh? Not too many rooms like a lot of the other dungeons we've been seeing so far. A Diglett, huh? I don't think I have a Diglett. A lot of the Pokemon here are pretty unique, despite being kind of common Pokemon in the regular games. Like, you don't see Geodude too often. I think you see it in Magma Cavern, you see it here, obviously. And then Buried Relic, and that might be it. Can I hit it from here? No, but it can hit me, that's good to know. It has Magnet. I'm not walking in there with Aggron to get hit with a 4 times effective magnitude, you know? Jafeel. Hello. And also, yeah. I think that's about it. I've not been really keeping any of the apples. I've been actually depositing all the apples I find in the dungeons that I'm in into the storage, and I'm getting quite the collection. I think I have 40 now, because I was buying them when I saw them in the shop. I always check the shop every time just because you never know if you're going to get Tiny Reviver Seeds, Empowerment Seeds, Max Elixirs. I buy things like that. I don't think they actually stock any held items anymore, which normally would have been the TM. Oh, it's not good. Are you already out of Earth Power? No, then use it. Oh, come on. Hey, look at that. We have another Earth Power user. I wonder if Earth Power gain... Wait, it used... Okay. It used Magnet Rise. Also, hey, there's that Terrified. No, it needs to die. Yeah, I'm not letting it... Oh, hold on. Jeez, this kind of sucks. They're all coming up from behind. I didn't expect Magnet Rise to actually help, like, anyone, ever, but there it is. It happened. I have no idea how good this Hypno is, so I don't want to risk it getting knocked out by anything. Wow, that is quite the range of money. Whenever I check the Bulbapedia for money, and I know I said I was going to stop talking about Bulbapedia, but this is unrelated to all the other issues we've had. It always lists like a range from like 3 to 300 for almost every single dungeon, and that has never been the case every time. Okay, we just got a Power Surge. Either that or I think the light bulb is loose in this room. Never mind. If power goes out while I'm recording this, I'm gonna freaking lose it. It's the first time I've recorded in a bit, just because I was working on the held items video, and I'm also working on a Smash video. But let's ignore that for now, because you didn't hear that from me. But also, because working is just like a lot of things. I am moving into an apartment soon, so you'll be able to catch some streams soon, hopefully. That would be really nice. I have no problem with giving anyone apples because I have no need for them. That's another good thing about all this. Also, I can't use Uproar on the Voltorb, unluckily. Has soundproof, so... Yeah, I don't need to save any of my apples for myself. I can always give them to the fainted Pokemon. Metang, huh? Throne item boost. That's really good. If I were to ever bring Metagross into a dungeon, because it's level 43, it still has quite a few levels until it evolves, actually. But if I were to ever bring anything into a dungeon, Thrown item boost would be a pretty dang good one to have. Not a terrible rare quality to have for when you do the 99 floor level 5 dungeons. Efficient bandana, okay. It's not terrible. Simply because you just find so many throwable items, and you can find silver spikes, which there's the okay, this is getting ridiculous. There's the rare quality that allows you to throw items and they'll pierce, and you can throw items at like a protein at your partner and they'll eat it, and anyone behind them will eat it. But silver spikes just pierce naturally, so you can just throw them at an enemy and you're good. And those spawn in the 99 floor dungeons. I believe they also spawn in Buried Relic. I might be wrong about that. You get golden spikes at the end of Buried Relic, so there's that. I should know because I finished it twice. Yeah, I didn't finish it the third time I went through, by the way. I'll do it. I'll get Mew sometime, but it might be worth waiting until we have a level 70 Pokemon, just so we have that extra boost into our recruitment rate. And hopefully sometime I'll go through and I won't get my friend bow all sticky, because that seems to happen every single time, and it's not like I have friend bows out the wazoo to keep replacing them with. So, you know, it's one of those. Actually, while I don't need the Oranberry, I should probably just eat like a Pechaberry or something, because Oranberries are kind of the food to eat now. Oh boy. I can't actually use upward. That's really annoying, actually, fighting Pokemon with soundproof. That's the one downside to having Uproar, really. Trying to think of what other like notable moves wouldn't be good because of it. Hyper Voice is okay, but it's even better when you have a Pokemon that has Pixelate, because I believe that boosts the move by 1.3 times power. And that's not even like adding on Stab as well, because the only two Pokemon that have it, I believe, are Sylveon and Mega Altaria, which are both fairy types. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think those are the only two. Or I could correct myself and look it up, but who's gonna do that? Just gonna head back just so we don't have to deal with these. Look at these Phampies. I know you come across Donphan when you get deep enough, so that's something to look out for. Again, rollouts pretty much Phampi. Oh, come on, really? You had to give me PP Pouch. I'll take it, of course. So we actually get to see this activate sometimes, I guess. The PP of a learned move restores a bit when an enemy is defeated. I hate the wording of it, because it doesn't mention that it only activates sometimes. It's not when you'd read it and think it's 100%, right? No, it's not. So of course I'll knock out this Pokemon here, and you'll notice, oop, I didn't get my PP back. So yeah, and apparently the Efficient Bandana has a bit more of a more constant effect even than this rare quality, and I guess the trade-off is because the rare quality affects your entire team, whereas the Efficient Bandana only affects whoever's holding it. So that's a trade-off, I guess, but I mean, it's mostly gonna be whoever the leader is fighting most of the time anyway, so, you know, whatever. Also, what ability do Voltorb get other than Soundproof? Because that one got hurt by Screech. I have no idea. Hello. That is a Iron. Iron. I think I have a few other of those in my inventory. Tentacruel, we're only on floor 10, yet we've already come across like 5 of the missions. I think it's because I mostly will just subconsciously, I'll take up the shorter missions just because it's easy when you're trying to grind out missions. It's even though like the longer missions give you more points, I tend to not do them just because it's annoying, because you have to get all your items in order. It's a lot easier when you can just walk into a dungeon and be like, hey, okay, let's go to floor 5, and you're done. Also, Tentacruel looks really cool in 3D. Like, I don't think that's one of the Pokemon that I don't think sprites did justice, Tentacruel. Especially because, like, in the sprites, I don't know, it just seems so flat, and when you can see, like, the tentacles coming out of just this almost abyss-looking part of it, looks a lot cooler, I think. But then, of course, there's Pokemon, oh god, Excadrill. Poor Excadrill. We could go back and forth about the downsides of going from pixelated artwork to 3D artwork all day. And Mystery Dungeon, you know, is one of the series that I really, really wish would have just stuck with the pixelated graphics, because I wouldn't, like, obviously the 3D models is less work because they recycle them from every game, supposedly, and then they go out and say that they don't, but then they did anyway. I don't know. But like, a lot of people like to point out Eevee's walk animation from the older games, where it literally, like, it would bounce around. It had so much energy, it looked so kinetic, I guess, which is not at all a word that you should properly use to describe that, but hey, that's what it was. Always bouncing around. It bounced to the beat of certain songs and people enjoyed it, all those tiny little details. But then you look at Eevee's walk animation in the newer games and it's just so stiff, like to a ridiculous degree. Who's back there? Oh geez, it's Diglett. Diglett's fortunately a god. Is no one going to offer to, like, okay, well, Diglett killed him. No, it didn't. Oh my god. Nope, swap, 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 swap. No, you're not gonna use it. You'll live. I don't have any more Earth powers. Maybe I should use a Max Elixir on that. Max Ether, rather. I already have a Fan P, but unless we recruit a Dawn Fan, I'm gonna need one for the Dawn Fan, so we'll do that. Speaking of Dawn Fan, that just reminds me that I really, like, I need to watch the Johto anime. It's the only one that I haven't dabbled in at all. The only episodes I've ever watched, this is a fun story to get into in the middle of this dungeon. So the only ones I've watched is the one where he catches Noctowl, because these were, whatever that one was, it was the cover of the VHS specifically that I would get. He caught Noctowl in it, and I'm struggling to remember any other one. I think it also had the Pikachu versus Elekid baseball match. Does that ring a bell? Oh boy, Nidoking. Okay. See, this is weird. This was listed in the original dungeon, but it wasn't listed as being in the DX dungeon. Fun. But those are the only, like, few Johto episodes I saw. I think it also had the episode where he caught Totodile. It might have been like that, you know how they have that VHS for every season. Okay, well maybe just the first, but was Advanced Adventures wasn't on VHS at that point, was it? That one was a DVD, because they were already past that at that point. I think they always had like a VHS or a DVD of the one where Ash catches most of his Pokemon. Because it's funny, I think I also had the Hoenn DVD, because it's, oh geez, the first part of it, this is just, no one's interested in this, but I'm gonna say that, keep going on anyway. It's the one where, like, they come across a fortress in a cave, and they all get chased out. Oh boy, they both have pickup. Cool. They get chased out, and this was what made me always think that Fortress was a Gen 2. Oh, scary move. It's always made me think Fortress was a Gen 3 Pokemon. Oh, you were all dead. Goodbye, Matang. I mean, it has thrown item boost. I have Reviver Seeds. I might as well use them. If I had used Uproar, that wouldn't have happened. Anyway, what was I talking about? Jesus, I need to watch the Johto episodes just because everyone says they're bad. I don't believe them. Like, could it be worse than the Gen 5 anime? I don't think so. I don't think it could. Just because the characters, like, they've had time, like, I refuse to believe that they've had all that time to, like, nail down, like, Misty and Brock's character and, you know, of course, their Pokemon's characters and not use them well. I refuse to believe it. Fainted Pokemon Magneton. I believe I already have a Magneton. Max Elixir, huh? That's quite useful. Yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten that pickup effect, huh? I completely forgot that Meowth used to have it. I don't care about the Magneton. I think I already have one. And if I wanted to evolve it into a Magnezone, I'd do it. Joy Rib. Oh, good lord. Gonna sell all that for a killing. Oh, hey, Glygars are here too. I don't think you can find Gliscors naturally in the wild. In fact, you know what I think? Oh, it's hard to say if this is really true or not. I don't think you can naturally find any Gen 4 or higher Pokemon naturally just in the game. Like, obviously this is not counting like Mega Evolutions. Pokemon can Mega Evolve and, you know, Mega Evolutions are Gen 6, all of them. Let's not, yeah, is that true? There weren't new Mega Evolutions in Gen 7, right? I don't recall that. What else? Like, all of the evolutions that I've seen so far have all been Gen 1. I guess Gen 2, because Espeon and Umbreon spawn naturally in some dungeons. In fact, Espeon is the strong enemy in one of the dungeons. Really wish they would have had Eevee as a strong enemy so you could get any of its evolutions shiny, but whatever. There's Meditite. Did that say Meditite was a mission, or is it fainted? It is fainted. Hey, the more the merrier. Plus, you're probably a higher level than most of the Pokemon in the dungeon. 44 with Wary Walk. Yeah, I'll take it. Although now I think about it, I actually have several Medichams, and I didn't even think about that. Can I get a Nidoking? That'd be really cool. Interesting Pokemon to have. That's what I always thought in the Kanto games. Every single time I'd run through them, I'd have either Nidoking or Nidoqueen, despite them being like one of the most common Pokemon in the game. Just seems cool to have something that evolves through a stone. I feel like it's almost required every time you do a playthrough of any game to have like a weird evolution, right? I don't know if that's just something I'm compelled to do, if that's a common sentiment. I doubt it. But you know how it be. Floor 17. Good lord, it feels like I've been doing this for hours. I've been doing it for half an hour. Good to know. Okay. Anyway, that's just, look at this formation. It's just about all I have to say about extracurricular things. If y'all could stop wanting to get that, give that Phanpy anything, I'd be really happy. So, I think with Aggron, having Heavy Slam, this is a completely unrelated note, basically, if you were listening. Oh, I could have had another one. I didn't have to race that Reviver Seed. Cool. I think with Aggron getting Heavy Slam, that pretty much completes me wanting to have any different moves. I think... Oh, hello, Larvitar. Ooh. This is one of the very few dungeons you can find Larvitar in. Surprisingly, you can find a ton of... Ooh. I think Meditite will go. I know I wasted an apple on it, but whatever. There's several dungeons you can find Pupitar at. Even a few you can find Tyranitar. Oh, Kate? Didn't know we were doing this. There's even a few you can find Tyranitar, but I want to say this and maybe like Joyous Tower might be the only two you can find Larvitar. Did I just get that PP up boost? Of course, level 65. Yeah, that PP pouch boost, I did. That's what that was. I'm trying to learn Feint. Well, listen. Breaks through Protect, Wide Guard, Quick Guard, or Spiky Shield. It doesn't get plucked by Wide Guard anyway. To damage the enemy, and it reaches up to 2 tiles away. Oh yeah, that's another thing I experienced in... No, also, I'm not getting Feint. That's another thing I experienced off screen. Spiky Shield's in the game, which is interesting because it's a... Well, it's a Gen 6 move because it was Chestnut's signature move. I don't think the previous evolution learned it. Whatever they, Chespin and Quillipin, I don't know. But Cacturn learns it. And I want to say it's the only family in the entire, in this entire game that has it, because there's no other cactus, like Maractus isn't in the game, so that doesn't have it. And then, of course, the Chespin line isn't in the game either, so I'm pretty sure Cacnea's line is the only one in the game that has Spiky Shield. Unless it's a, actually, unless it's a move tutor learner, or move learner move, which I doubt it, because that would make very little sense. I don't know who they'd give it to, but probably, I could see it going to Roselia, I guess, just because it's, you know, a rose. Actually, that makes sense. Does Roselia's line get Spiky Shield? Because I feel like it should. I don't know. Makes sense. Hello, give me another Larvitar, maybe? Even though I don't know what I'd get rid of, because I kind of want to keep everything I have. Interesting, I don't think... 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7... Oh! Hypno does not actually take up a slot. Can I find the stairs before I die of poisoning? Jeez. 2/5 of the way there. I want to check real quick and see how many jobs we have left. Wow, we still have 7 left? Good lord. The latest one being on floor 29. So if we wanted to, we could get out of here on floor 29. And I think we will. Because I see no reason of saying till the end. You can guess what kind of Pokemon you have here. Also, I want to go over... Hello, Pichu. I want to go over some of the fainted Pokemon, because I forgot to actually mention that. Oh, that's a Doug Trio. Big Flail. Big Bite. Please don't kill my Larvitar, please. This is, again, another thing. You don't find story Pokemon until the very end. Oh, cool. Heal Block. Some of the... Okay. I'd like to use a move. Good lord. Fainted Pokemon. We've seen Magneton. I don't want a ball toy. It has in story restoration. I mean, actually... No. I want to keep everyone I have on my team right now. I can't look at them because they're out of the room. I want to keep everyone on my team right now because they're all new recruits. And like I said, someday I'd like to have an account where I recruited them all. It'd be really neat. Anyway, cool recruits. You can find Curlia, Metang, we've found several times. Beldum, I guess you can also find in here, which is weird because it's not often that you're able to find multiples of the same line in dungeons. Usually it's all either the smallest or the biggest. It's very rarely the middle of the line, because we've seen, like, you can find golems and Rhyperiors and stuff like that. There's the floor with Slowpoke. Gotta love it. Also, we're starting to see Rhyhorns, which I think is a problem because they naturally learn Horn Drill, which is a one-hit kill move. So, yeah, you want to watch out for that. I believe they naturally learn it. If they kept one-hit kill moves in the game, and they were in the originals, so I don't know why they wouldn't. There's the stairs. Oh, hello. Let's see what else. Heracross you can find. You can actually find Donphan on the floor, but you can also find it naturally, so that'll probably be a bit easier for you. Fortress, Ammonite, Horsey, a few weird ones. That about does it for interesting ones. I guess Lombre is really interesting because it's not often you find the Lotad line anywhere, which is weird because it seems like the C-Dot line is just all over the place. So we've, I think I've recruited multiple Shiftries at this point. All right, let's go back. Did a Pokemon just spawn in the hallway, or was it always there? Or am I blind? He says. Oh yeah, also the strong foe here. Oh, it was dead. The strong foe here is Shuckle. We haven't seen it yet, but it'd be really cool if we could. I think it's, oh, what is it? Its shiny form, I think it's blue instead of yellow. Or maybe it's a blue shell instead of a red shell. It's like a little paler of a yellow on its skin. No, it's green on its skin and it's blue on the shell, if I'm remembering it correctly. Yo, is the Hypno like the last mission? Because it's been following us for a while. Oh, good lord. Okay, keep on moving. All right, there's an Ariados, so you start to see them deeper in. Good to know. I don't think they should have anything that's especially scary, other than like Poison Jab can do damage and poison you, which very few strong moves can. So there you have it. I think that does it. We're just about done now. We're just about out of here. And like, while I want to show off all these dungeons, like, obviously you can see this is like the hardest of the non-story dungeons. And so obviously you can kind of see why I don't want to fully show them off in their glory. Like Far Off Sea, like I don't even know what I'm gonna do with Far Off Sea. Larvitar used Sandstorm. That better have not been my Larvitar. Like Far Off Sea, I don't know. I'm probably just going to end up... I'll get a mission that's like 20 floors in and it's like, you know, you've seen it. It's weird because it's just kind of like a lot of the other sea levels. There's a fainted Pokemon. It's a Beldum. Look at that. You can find Beldum too. It's been proven now. Weird. I was expecting there to be a mission here, but I guess not. Because I know we have like 5 mission floors coming up all in a row here, so got to keep our ears peeled and our eyes turned. I was trying to think of the thing for ears, but I couldn't think of it. I was trying to be funny. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like our Tyranitar being, our Larvitar being back there. Hello. Also, so like I, bunk, dead. I mentioned so I did a held item to your list. I'm sure most of the people who watch the series probably watched it, so I'm gonna assume you did. Oops. And I said that, I put the weather band at B, and I was like debating that myself, whether to put it in B or C. I ultimately ended up putting it in B because I thought it was the one in C that most deserved it, and I was running out of room in the C category, so that's why, if you're wondering. But I think it most deserved it because I can't really put something all the way down in C when I did my Explorers of Sky playthrough, which you might remember. I used it a lot. In fact, I usually had 2 weather bands on my team of 3. Because I utilized Hail, which is probably the most powerful and useful. Oh, stop that right now. The most powerful and useful of all of the weather effects if you use it properly. And in this game, it's even more powerful because the move Aurora Veil is in the game. Gligar wants a max ether. All right, good for him. I just wanted to make sure I get this knocked out. Yeah, I used Hail in that game because it has 100% accuracy for Blizzard, and it activates Glaceon's Snowcloak, which is obviously very useful. So I carried around 2 weather bands so that my other Pokemon wouldn't be affected by the hail, because it's extremely annoying in that game. This game less so because you just get hit with the damage really quick from weather. But in the old games, it would tick through all your Pokemon. 3, 3, 3. Take a few steps. 3, 3, 3. And it really sucked. And that was more so the reason I was doing it. So I guess in that way, it's a little bit less useful. But, you know, it's still good and useful. Plus, if you're taking weather damage, you're actually losing more HP than you would be gaining through passive regeneration, which is not true if you have one of the rare qualities that increases your regeneration rate, I should mention. But it is true otherwise. So yeah, thought I should mention that. When I used 2 weather bands in my last playthrough, I feel like it didn't really deserve the C ranking when it could possibly be guaranteed needed. Wait, what? Did this want the Hypno? It did. Okay, good. All right, Hypno, get in here. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out a Dugtrio for fun. I don't like that Ariados. I'd like to recruit it, actually, if I could. Nope, Diglett's gonna do that. But yeah, if you wanted a Tyranitar, which obviously is a really cool Pokemon, and it Mega Evolves, but it comes with the ability Sandstream. Either you need a Nullify bandana to nullify the ability and not deal with the Sandstorm, get a full team of either Rock or Ground types that are all immune to it, or just have 2 weather bands on the other 2 Pokemon, which I guess, you know, now I say it out loud, just having one Nullify bandana would probably be a bit easier than having 2 Weather bandanas. If that's what it's called, I don't know. But still, maybe you don't want to nullify it, you know? Although it's hard to say what real uses Sandstorm has, because again, I found Hail to be a lot more useful because Sandstorm doesn't really increase the accuracy of any given move. It just kind of decreases the accuracy of moves like Blizzard and Thunder, and Hurricane, actually. I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain it does, just like Sunny Day. It also makes, oh geez. I think Solar Beam does half damage? Ooh, is that a... Wait, did I have one more. Oh great, this Diglett's just gonna absolutely destroy what's ever in this room. Love that they don't have PP. Empowerment Seed, there you go. Now I'll have one for the next dungeon. Whatever it may be. I think, so I've teased it enough. I think we should do Wish Cave next. Doing Wish Cave first, just because it is needed to unlock one more dungeon that we need to do for story purposes. And that's about it. Everything else, you kind of just do it and you're done. And I definitely do want to... What was that? Oh. So if you pick up an item and your toolbox is full, it just drops it on the floor. I don't know if we ever saw that when we had Meow. Oh geez, we have to go. I was hoping this would be a nice and easy last floor, but gotta go all the way down there. But yeah, Wish Cave first. I'll be going to the end. Wish Caves is interesting. I might end up doing it. Is that proper grammar? I doubt it. I might end up do it. No, that's not right either. What is proper? I really don't know. I might do it multiple times just because there's a reward at the end that is constant and not just kind of a boss that you recruit once and you're good and done. There's more to it than that. So I'd really like to get to the end maybe multiple times to aid us in getting one of the squares for our main menu, because I did mention that I wanted to finish that. We're getting out of here. I've finished my 13 requests, and while I mash through all of these request things, this is going to be really annoying. While I mash through all the requests, I can explain it. So, all the squares in the main menu obviously are all of the legendaries that you recruit. It's various story beats such as Smeargle being on there and Munchlax being on there. But there's one that's special. And I didn't know that it was actually there until recently. There is a square that you unlock for getting the max rank in the game. And being platinum rank, well, at the point that you get platinum rank, you are about 1/9 of the way to the max rank. And that's obviously a very far away. There's ways to expedite this, of course, such as, hold on, how many points was that? Hold on, what? That seemed to give me at like 300 something, I thought. That Hypno one's gonna be nuts, by the way. Oh! A Persian with Steamroll. Okay, just rub that in my face, why don't you? Yeah, we got a bit of a way to go. It's 90,000 points, 90,000 something. So we're a bit more of the way there now that I'm almost at 15,000, but yeah, there's a long way to go. But there's a lot of ways to expedite that, such as doing requests in areas like Joyous Tower. I always want to say Joyous Cavern, and I don't know why. But Joyous Tower, Purity Forest, doing missions there really speeds it up. But there's a thing at Wish Cave that speeds it up by a lot more. So we might go through that a few times just for that effect alone. And while it would be annoying, obviously you'll only watch the first go through. I'll show you the other go throughs just for fun. I'll show you the end of the other go throughs rather. So it won't be that annoying to watch. I respect your time, and Mystery Dungeon is very much a game that doesn't, although they did get rid of a lot of the bad waiting. Also have enough money for the rest of the friend camp, so we'll probably unlock the rest of those at the end. Oh, Farfetch'd. Why couldn't you had your evolution? I wish they would have included the Alolan and Galarian forms in this game, because there hasn't been a Pokemon game where they had them, mainly because the last Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game that came out was Gen 6. So the Gen 7 Alolan forms and Gen 8 Galarian forms obviously didn't exist. But it'd be a cool thing to include, like maybe if a strong Pokemon was, for instance, like a Corsola, which is actually in the game. You can find a shiny Corsola. If they could have a chance to be the Galarian form, I think that would have been pretty cool. So they wouldn't have had to put them all in, just a few. I don't know. Anyway, that's going to do it. In the next episode, we're doing our first level 5 dungeon, baby. We're going to Wish Cave. See you all then, and goodbye.